You know how you read an old ghost story and you can kind of picture it in your head, but you wonder, what would it really look like? Today, we're going to stop wondering and start building. We're going to use a little bit of Python code to bring a seriously chilling piece of folklore to life, right here, right now.
It all starts with this single, unsettling line from Bengali lore. It talks about these spirits just endlessly searching for something they've lost. This isn't just a spooky quote for us. This is the blueprint. This feeling, this endless, tragic searching, is exactly what we want to capture with our code.
And the ghost at the center of all this? It's called the Skandakata. The name literally means headless ghost. And what's really fascinating is that this isn't some ancient, timeless spirit. According to the stories, it was born from a very specific moment in history, when railways were first built across the Indian subcontinent, a time of tragic accidents on these new, dark, unlit tracks.
So that's the big question, right? How do you take a legend that was born from steam and steel and shadows and translate its creepy, haunting vibe into our world, the world of pixels and code? Well, the answer lies in a script, and you can really think of it like a modern-day incantation. It's a set of very precise instructions written in Python that are designed to summon this specter, this ghost, directly into a video file. All right, section 1, gathering your ingredients. Just like any good ritual, our digital haunting needs a few key things before we can even begin.
And it really just boils down to these three things. First, we need our tools. Think of these as our book of spells. These are the Python libraries that'll do all the heavy lifting. Then we need a location for the haunting. That's our base video file. And of course, you can't have a haunting without the apparition itself, the ghost image we want to bring to life.
So this is our digital toolkit, and it's how they work together that's so cool. First, you've got Pillow. That's our artist brush. It just handles loading our ghost image. Then there's MoviePy, which is like the director. It takes that image from Pillow and says, okay, you're going to appear here for this long. And NumPy is the quiet genius in the background, the mathematician making all the complex stuff like the flickering and transparency actually happen.
Okay, section 2, summoning the specter. Now that we have all our ingredients, it's time to get creative. We're going to write the code that defines exactly how our ghost is going to look and behave.
You see, a ghost that just pops onto the screen isn't really scary, is it? It's just an image. So our code has to build that atmosphere, piece by piece. We don't just place it in the video. We make it fade in slowly, like it's emerging from somewhere else. We had this really subtle, slow zoom to create this creeping feeling of unease. And finally, we make it semi-transparent to give it that classic ghostly look, so it feels like it's in the scene, not just slapped on top.
Let's look at one specific line from our digital spell. This is the code that creates that slow, menacing zoom. The key is this little bit right here. Lambda t is 1 plus 0.01 times t. All that's saying is, for every moment in time, that's the t, make the ghost just a tiny, tiny bit bigger. It's so subtle you might not even notice it consciously, but your brain will feel that something is getting closer.
And that specific number for the transparency? We landed on 45%. We found this was the perfect sweet spot. It's visible enough to be a threat, but just see-through enough to feel like a real ghost. Okay, section 3, crafting the haunting. A good haunting is way more than just a spooky picture. So now we're going to add 2 more layers to really build the tension, a supernatural flicker effect and some deeply unsettling audio. To make our ghost feel unstable, like it's struggling to exist in our world, we use this custom flicker function. And what's so powerful is that our code applies this function to every single frame that the ghost is on screen. It's constantly adjusting the brightness up and down, creating this pulsating, unnatural light that makes it feel like it's barely holding on. The real secret sauce here is a little bit of math. np.sine 20 times t. A sine wave, if you remember from school, creates a perfectly smooth, predictable up and down pattern. But when you apply that perfect pattern to the brightness of an image, it feels wrong. It's too regular. It creates this throbbing light that just feels artificial and deeply, deeply unsettling. Perfect. Visuals are only half the story, though. To make this really immersive, we have to think about sound. So what does a digital ghost, born from code and folklore, what does it actually sound like? We pull it off with a careful audio mix. We keep the original sound from the video, but we turn it down to about 40%, just enough to keep you grounded in the scene. Then, we layer on top the real star of the show, a low-frequency hum, about 55 Hz, that we generate entirely with our script. We make that the dominant sound, at 60%, and it creates this instant feeling of dread. You just know something is very wrong. All right, Section 4, Assembling the Final Cut. So we've created our ghost, we've perfected its effects, we've designed its sound. Now it's time for the final step. Stitching all of these pieces together into one seamless, haunted video. The logic here is actually really smart. Instead of trying to alter the entire video at once, we programmatically slice it into 3 clean parts: the section before the ghost, the 25-second haunted sequence itself, and the part after the ghost is gone. This lets us drop our ghost right in the middle without messing with anything else. And this one line of code is where it all comes together. Composite video clip is the command that takes our 3 separate chunks, the before, the during, and the after, and it just combines them into one continuous video. It's the final instruction that completes the spell.
And one last crucial detail. When we save the final video, we use the setting preset equals slow. Now that sounds counterintuitive, I know. Why would you want it to be slow? But in video encoding, slow just means the computer takes more time, it's more careful, and the result is a much higher quality file. It's the final polish to make sure our ghost looks perfect with no distracting digital glitches. So there you have it. We took a story that's over 100 years old and gave it a new kind of life, a digital life. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? If a few lines of Python can resurrect the Skandokata, what other myths, what other legends, what other stories are just waiting inside the machine for their own digital incantation?